take a look at some of the dinim which have a connection to like BaOmer. Simin Tov Tzadik Gimel.
Someone, can you pass me the orange juice? Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, I have it. Yeah, Simin Tov Tzadik Gimel. Dinim hanoyegim BaOmer, the dinim which are customary in the days of the Omer. Sif Aleph, noyegim the minhag shel isha does not get married. Shall we stop her not to cut one's hair? Being Pesach Hatzeres between Pesach and Shavuos. Shemes Ablin al Choftal Alofim the Talmidei of Akiva, because we are mourning over the 24,000 students of Akiva. Shemeisu b'yam alol that passed away these days. Aval, however, mutter las shidduchim, one is allowed to make a shidduch. V'lo yinisuim without marriage. Shemi kadmenu acher, maybe someone else will take the date.
Especially in our days. We have a crisis.
Social media.
Yeah.
It's also not only to make the actual engagement, you're allowed to make an engagement party. For those days when they would separate the kiddushin from the nisuin, the way it was in the times of Chazal was there was two parts of the process of the actual marriage. There was what's called the kiddushin or erusin and the nisuin. The kiddushin, the erusin, was the giving of the ring. And then the actual marriage ceremony, that could be a year later. But once you gave the ring, she's mekudeshes, and she's the person I just, they don't yet live together. She goes back to her house, and he goes back to his house. And at some point later on, they convey a date, and that's when she comes to live by him, and they fully marry. So there's two stages, parts of the process. Today's days, we do them both. The minhag is to do them both underneath the chuppah. We have the Hareyat Mekudeshes Li B'Tabazu, and he gives the ring, and that's the inyan of the Kiddushin, the Erusin. Then, afterwards, the Birchas Nisuin, we say the brachas of the Sheva brachas, we have the Yichud room, and we right away go into the process of Nisuin. And we separate the two processes by the reading of the Ksubah. There is no real reason to read the Ksubah. It does not say in the Gemara one needs to read the Ksubah underneath the Chuppah. Reading of the Ksubah, the main thing is that the Ksubah signed with witnesses, and that the contract is a valid contract. The Ksubah. We don't need to read it. Not everyone needs to hear it. The point of the reading it is, it's a part that we make a separation between the Erusin process and the Nisuin process by reading the Ksubah. So just to show that they're two separate processes. L'maisa today, it's all together. The Rebbe actually point out that by engagement party, some people use the word betrothed or call it a kiddushin or erusin. The Rebbe would say you should be careful for that because it's not. It's just an engagement. Even in Lubavitch, the Rebbe was and other groups are not makbid on this, but Lubavitch, the Rebbe did not want that chassan should give the kala any jewelry for the engagement. Should no jewelry because in general before marriage no jewelry. Only an action. You can give presents and that, but not any jewelry. Especially a lot of people customary to give a ring already by the. Now there is they do give, let's say, a necklace, but that is like the parents of the chassan are giving the necklace to the kala, but not that the chassan should give. So there shouldn't be any issue of a chash of a kiddushin happening here. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I thought we read the ksuba by the men's tish. No?
So that is the tanoim. That's actually the actual chassan itself. Who's going to pay for the wedding?
Oh, I see.
Who pays for the wedding? Oh. Right. Who's going to pay the conditions on the actual chuppah, the marriage? Who's paying for everything? Who's going to pay? And if you don't pay, who's going to be responsible? Do you have a guarantor who's going to pay out for the actual wedding ceremony? It's expensive, right? expensive to get married. But Lamaisa, the ksuba is what the husband is obligated to give to the wife if he divorces her or if he passes away, what she gets from his possessions to take away.
How long ago the separation? It used to be Jerusalem and then was Kiddushin.
It was up to anyone. They were able to do whatever time they wanted. Maybe it was around a year.
How long ago?
כן.
I mean,
It,
לא, תן לו, לא, למה?
אני קשה לי למה.
לא, please, please.
He's coming.
Please.
He left.
סליחה, ידע הלוך אתם לומדים?
The Kiddushin is expensive,
Top Tzaddik
but the maintenance is
Gimel.
much more.
yeah, you're right.
in the second paragraph.
Now, Avalai Yasser Ikudin Mechoilis, we're holding the fourth line in Sif Aleph. One should not make, even though one is allowed to make this engagement party, however, one should not, what's called a vart or a l'chaim, however, one should not make dancing at the shidduch. It's obvious that one should not make things that have no shaykhis to mitzvah at all. One should not have any dancing. How are you allowed to make a regular meal, a party, without music? You're going simchas mereus, you want to bring over your friends and have a fabrengen, have a barbecue. However, the loy rikudin and simcha says not with dancing or with any extra simcha. It has to be toned
I have
down.
a question. Going back to there shouldn't be any exchange of jewelry. How about an engagement ring?
So that's what I'm saying. In a lot of groups in Klal Yisrael that's customary, but in Chabad it's not because the Rebbe didn't want.
Okay.
You should give it. It's not a halachic problem. It's just to be extra careful that the chassan shouldn't be giving anything directly to the kala and the jewelry.
Okay.
Like they do give. The kala does receive a necklace, let's say by the engagement party, l'chaim, but it's given by the parents of the chassan.
Parents.
Or the family, but not, he doesn't give it directly.
He doesn't give it to her.
Like the mother-in-law will present it, but he doesn't give her any jewelry.
Got it.
Just to stay away. He wants to give her something along the time. He can give her a sefer, he can give her some other buyer, something else. But the jewelry, he doesn't give the jewelry.
Got it. Okay.
If he does, it's not a halacha issue. It's just to be careful. It shouldn't be. Maybe he'll give it and he'll say some word there, that,
She's thirsty.
No music. How about a cappella? Without music. They're all over the radio, singing without music. It sounds better than music.
She's thirsty.
No.
شوف دي الشاشة من شبت يشوف دي الشاشة
תיכנס,
ما يبغى
Okay.
No, it's not.
It's a good question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You heard my question?
No.
Today they have music without music. A cappella, what do you call it?
A cappella, yeah.
Cappella.
A cappella.
It sounds better than with the music.
It seems
Even
that
on the radio, it's beautiful.
it seems to me that the main isser is to bring to dancing. So if a cappella, anything that will bring to dancing is asur. Am I right?
They asked Rabbi Molo this question. He answered, kosher basar is good. So yeah. Chol Yisrael is good. So yeah. Could you eat it in the 9 days? Because he told me a cappella, music. This is kosher and this is kosher, but could you eat it together in the 9 days? That was his answer. He
Question
didn't
is
tell
why,
me yes or no, but that was his answer.
I don't know. I didn't research it. It's not pashut. For sure, it's not pashut. Question is, once it also comes to a tape recorder, there are those that feel that
It's not real.
just like one doesn't have musical instruments. So if it's a musical, who said a recorder is not a musical instrument? It's playing for your music. So that Some poskim say that the tape itself is a.
You would have trouble finding
Some
a tape.
poskim are mako. It's a machlokes about it. Some people are mako with
People use
tapes, and
digital,
some people
right?
are. Some people are mako even with tapes with real music because the tape is not live. You're not hearing live music.
Dulce said that a cappella, if it would be simple, it might be easier, but it's digitally enhanced. That's why it's kind of...
Interesting. So then it's a cliche, yeah. Okay, Siv Beis. Misha Kofatz. The issue is more when it comes to bar mitzvahs. People make bar mitzvahs and they want to play something. Bar mitzvahs are also regarding dancing. Bar mitzvah is easier because it's still this mitzvah. It's easier.
Not to dance?
No, like you're allowed to dance.
Oh, I
You're
see.
not to dance.
Because without music.
But without the music.
Still, we don't do live music, but
DJ.
yeah. Siv Beis. Misha Kofatz
גם
enough.
בגלל חורבן הבית, גם שמחת מרעים לא עושים, אם זה לא, זה סתם לעשות שמחות מרעים, גדול שמה שיש, מי שנלחם בית המקדש, גם שמחת מרעים בלי תזמורת לא עושים ככה, סתם לא עושים, זה בגלל חורבן הבית.
ולא שמחות יסרות.
שידוכים, שידוכים כן.
Siv
אבל
Beis.
סתם שמחת מרעים, למשל, מה שהביאים זמרים, ששרים, שיושבים ככה, לא מקובל.
Siv Beis. Misha Kofatz v'nosa Yama Lolo, someone who did go and get married during this period of time. In coincidence, they call me, do not give him a knas, a penalty, ki misha'asa mitzvah, in the ending of the day he did a mitzvah. You can't give someone a knas for doing a mitzvah. However, Misha Stapper v'Yama Lolo, someone who cut his hair, coincidence al Shabbat minig, we give him a knas, a penalty because he transgressed the minig. Those days there was a kehila. The concept of a kehillah, the community had the power to put knasim and penalties on people. It was real government. The Jewish people and the Jewish communities had governing power over their own community. They had their own enclave and they did their own thing. And the government gave them the kehillah, the recognized kehillah, the powers to do certain things. To control and govern the Jewish district. So they can give a knas. Someone did not yet have a son and a girl, or he has no one to help take care of him. Since it's mutter for him to get married, even during the shloishim for the avelos of one's parents, to mourn. The minig of this concept that we are about veils these days is only a minig. It's not something mentioned clearly in Chazal. It's a minig that we do not, we are mourning during this period of time. So the mourning practices. So if during the time of the Shloishim, which is from Achiyah from Gemara, one is allowed to get married. If he was not Makayim Mitzvah Perividivya, where he has no one to take care of him, the same thing would be during the Sfira Soimer.
I mean, anyone who's not married didn't Makayim Mitzvah.
Correct. If he wasn't yet, that's correct. So according to the Mikol Makim, Medinas Eilo Nogel Hachmir, here's the answer. In these countries, the minig is that Eina Chanami, that based on our Kal V'chomer from Shloishim, it should be mutter. Still, no, all the customs we are strict.
יש כזה מנהג אצלכם שמתחתנים למד בניסן?
שמה?
יש פה אחד שעשה חתונה, למד בניסן עשה חתונה.
למה בייז?
למד בניסן.
למד בניסן.
כן. הוא טוען שזה...
לא בחב"ד.
לא, פה, באוצר בעיקר. היה חתונה ביום ראשון. למד בניסן. עשו חתונה?
אבל הוא סתם היה מאלו ששומרים את ה... Lamed Gimel Yamim Beis here, Veshchevish here. Maybe we'll talk about it soon. Siv Dalet. Kishiyesh Mila B'Yam Malolo Mutarim Balei Abris and Emel Vasan Kriya Ben B'Yem Shulchnei Mila Samach Harav Koyin L'Chabeis HaKnesses. We stop it. When someone has a bris during these days, the Balei HaBris. Who are the Balei HaBris? The Balei HaBris is the male, Sandik, the father of the baby. On the day before the Milah, and right before Shkia, they're allowed to go to shul. Before they go to shul, they're allowed to cut their hair. So already by Ma'ariv, because it means already by Ma'ariv that evening, which is at the night of before the bris, they're already allowed to come in a festive and cut their hair and come into shul because they're having a simcha the next morning.
Wouldn't it be a little Marasayan? Wouldn't that?
Everybody knows that they are the moed that they cut out the baby.
Okay.
Yeah. Siv Hey. You know, today we don't know what's going on, but in the shtetl everyone knew who's having the bris. You know, it's the talk of town.
Okay.
Now we don't know.
Yeah. You see someone with a haircut. It's like,
All right. Okay. Now, Rabbi say there are 33 days between Pesach and Shavuos when they were nifter. Question is, it's a big machlokes. When are we knowing these 33 days of Avelos? Is it right after Pesach, the first 33 days until BaOmer? Or is it the second 33 days before Shavuos? And in each opinion, is another shita. And we'll see. Sif Hey. Lamed Gimel Yam. These 33 days that we are noyig to have Avelos, when are they? Yesh Oimrim. Some say the very first day of Svidas Oimer, you start to count. It means the second day of Pesach. When Simon you finish, but like BaOmer. It's Thursday, right? And that day, Mesu HaAchronim Shechalt Alav, the very final students of Akiva passed away, and therefore that day, from that day and on, they were no longer passed away. Therefore, Noigin Tzas Laharves Besimcha Imzeh. We're noyig some are noyig to make simcha, have more simcha on this day. We don't say tachnun. So this day they finish passing away. If this is the actual day they passed away, the simcha should be the next day. Still, some of them did pass away today, so today should still be one of the days of Avelos.
You mean on BaOmer?
Yeah. When it comes to the concept of Avelos, Yoim Ma'achrin, of the last day of Avelos, where we are lenient on Oimer mixes Hayim Kekul. We say part of the day is considered like you entered into the full day. For example, Shiva. When it comes to Shiva, people don't do a full 7 24-hour periods. The final day, we say mixes Hayim Kekul. They sit Shiva only in the morning a bit, and afterwards they get up after davening. Right after Shachris, they get up. They don't do a full, complete 7 days because we're lenient that the last day of Avelos we follow the rule as mixes hayoim. It's like you have 7 days. Yeah, I had 7 days. Those are complete days, but I had 7 days. So over here too, Eina Chanami BaOmer. Some of them passed away, but since BaOmer is the final day, the Yom Ha'achron is Avelos. We're maker with it.
I have a question. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai passed away in BaOmer. This is the same year BaOmer, the Talmidim of Akiva died? It's the same year, or a year later, or 5 years later?
Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was one of the 5 Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva that was a student. So later on.
Many years later.
The Shimon Bar Yochai, the whole concept of Shimon Bar Yochai is not mentioned at all in Shulchan Aruch, in the Poskim. They don't say one word about Shimon Bar Yochai. The reason why we're happy is because of Shimon Bar Yochai.
So how come it's the biggest event in the Jewish world since creation of the world?
What was the biggest event?
The Miron, BaOmer. No event like
After
this.
many people coming to his tziyun.
Oh, Torah Shema and Fadi.
Yeah.
It's out already. People
So
already
this
start.
is something the Mekubalim that's mentioned in the Mekubalim, Kabbala, that BaOmer was a day that he passed away, and that he asked. Well, this is already in the Zohar itself that he asked that the day of his Yom should be a Yom Hilul, a day of celebration. Now, Lamaisa is. I think it's in the Zohar. I think in the Idra Zutra. There's parts of the Zohar. It's called the Idra Rabbah. Idra Rabbah means the big room because he sat in the big room. The Torah which he said on the final day of his passing was called the Ida Zutta, the small room, because he asked before he was nifter, he said he wants to reveal deeper secrets and he wants to move into the smaller room. So he went to the smaller room, and that's Ida Zutta, and the Ida Zutta, the Torah that he said in the Ida Zutta is called Ida Zutta in the Zayar.
Was he the one that learned in the cave for 25 years or something?
12 years,
Oh,
13
12
years.
years.
12, and then another year.
Interesting enough, and the whole story about the cave is written on Daf Lamed Gimel in the Masechah Shabbos. Lag BaOmer, Lamed Gimel. Lag BaOmer. Masechah Shabbos, Daf Lamed Gimel is the whole story. The whole episode is talked about over there.
So today, people in America need to see him. People have no children, they go to him and BaOmer, and they have children.
Wow. Where's he buried in there?
In the Milon, next spot.
You have to go. Every Jew has to go. Like you go to the Kotel, you go to the Kotel.
So the Arizal was the one who spoke a lot about the happiness of the day, but the Paiskim don't really talk about it. So it could be because it's more like a Kabbala, it's a Soid. It's not something that. But in Halacha, the discussion is all about the students of Akiva. In Kabbala, talks about the Simcha of Shem Bayichai of Lag BaOmer. There's one of there's a Tshuvas called the Tshuvas Divrei Nehemiah from Nehemiah of the Bravna, who was a Talmud of the Alter Rebbe, and he said that if you look at the Paiskim, they're all struggling to understand why Lag BaOmer we're happy. It's hard to understand why. It's not clear according to all opinions why we should be happy in Lag BaOmer. Because even according to the second opinion, who holds the 33 days, or the second half of the days, it's the day 33 days close to the Shavuos, but in the middle of the 33 days, in the middle of BaOmer, that opinion also agrees you have a simcha during that day. The question is, what do you mean? It's in the middle of the 33 days of Avelut. So he says the only reason is because of Shem Bayichai. There's no other reason why.
He even asked one Talmud from the Arizal that used to say Avelus every day for the Beis Hamikdash. He said that day you don't say this Anchumim because by me Beis Hamikdash is not destroyed.
Yeah, it says that there was a Talmud of his of the Arizal about Ram, I think his name is, and he would every day say Nachim, because every day for him was like Tisha B'Av. Because he was always mourning for the Churban Beis Hamikdash. So he would say the Tefillah of Nachim that we say the Tisha B'Av, Shemon Esrei, he would say the Shemon Esrei every day. So he said it on Lag BaOmer. The Arizal told him that it's a big kapeda on him, because on a day like this is all the more understood because there's a mimer from Hillel Parasher, one of the Talmidim of Tzedek, which he says that there were great neshamas that for them there was never a korban of the Beis Hamikdash. They always were on the level of the Beis Hamikdash, and they never felt that they were lacking something because the Beis Hamikdash wasn't here. And he explained, he says neshamas hagvois, it was lofty neshamas. The example he gives is Kamoi Rashbi, like the Shem Bayichai, that by him it was like Kivul in Echav Habayis Klal. So by someone like the Rashbi on his day of Lag BaOmer, that you should say Nachim at his kever, it's still a little bit of a contradiction. Okay, let's take a look inside. So Lamaisa, this opinion here holds that the 33 days are the first 33 days. And Lag BaOmer, even though some of the Talmidim passed away on Lag BaOmer, but since it's the final day of Avelus, so we're Mekel Miksa Yom Kekuli. Lefichach, therefore, Kishanoyeg Avelus Shah Achas. Aipachis, you were Noyeg Avelus a little bit on that day. B'Yom Lamegimel. What does that mean? In the Sheminei and the Stapa, you refrain from cutting your hair. Ad La'achas Sheher Yom Megimel, Daipakach, Lamegimel. Till the morning of Lag BaOmer, it's enough, and the rest of the day you're allowed to be happy. You don't have to say Tachnun, and you can make a Simcha on that day, because part of the day you were Noyeg Avelus. You're allowed to cut your hair after part of the day went by, and allowed to marry
What about
V'chein milamed gimel ve'elach, and as well from lamed gimel and on, you're allowed to, because it's only the 33 days are over. It's only the first 33 days. Now, by the way, we'll see soon when we say the rule of miksa yom kekuloi. So, the rule is that we don't apply it to the night. We say you need to have a night and part of the day. We the shiva, we don't say they get up at night after Ma'ariv, right?
Morning.
The morning after Shachris, meaning they need the night and part of the day. Then he could say that they had miksa yom kekuloi. Same thing over here. According to this opinion, that it was a full 33 days that they passed away. So they actually, the whole entire night of the first night of Lag BaOmer, you're not like we do. The first night of Lag BaOmer is considered Avelis. You can't cut your hair, you can't get married. It's only the morning that you could. Now, im chal be'echa b'Shabbos, if Lag BaOmer falls out on a Sunday, noegin l'staper be'erev Shabbos, so then we have a minig that you're allowed to cut the hair on Erev Shabbos, Mikavod Shabbos. Because it's already right next to Shabbos, so we're lenient, and on the minig is to be lenient, and Erev Shabbos, we could already cut your hair.
Shbi was before Rambam or after Rambam?
Way before, the Tanaim, the Rishon, the Mishnah.
Rambam was 800 years ago.
For the 1,000 years.
מכל מקום אפילו בל"ג עצמאי יזהר שלהסתפר קודם אור היום. Even in such a kvius, when it's like when it falls on a Sunday, we allow you to cut your hair on Erev Shabbos because you have two aspects. So you're right before Lag BaOmer. It's like Erev Lag BaOmer and it's Erev Shabbos. So it's like cover the Shabbos, you could already cut your hair before Shabbos. But Motzai Shabbos, you can't cut your hair because not covered Shabbos anymore. And according to this opinion, the Avelos is only over the next morning because Miksa Yom Kekuloi not the night. Kama kafila b'lag lamed gimel atzma yizar shelastaper koydem yom shedef ein oimim ala miksa yom kekulei. Aval laila afilu kula ein kechol hayom. Even the whole night is not considered like the whole day. V'lei paska avelos ad l'macher b'yom. V'lei cheinim b'tachnon shal tfilas hamincha she'er lamed gimel. And therefore, we say tachnon in the mincha before Erev Lag BaOmer. The rule is like this, everybody say. When do we not say tachnon in the mincha before a day, and when do we say tachnon? We know on special days, on festive days, we do not say tachnon on that day. But on some of those days, we don't say tachnon the day before the mincha, and some we do. Say Erev Shabbos or mincha, it's not yet Shabbos, we don't say tachnon in the mincha. Or Yom Tif, Erev Chodesh, you don't say tachnon. This is because the light of the day is already starting to come, getting closer to the evening. After mincha already, you can only daven after chatzos, after mincha gedola. So so then you're already coming closer. So if you're benching or you daven mincha, you don't say tachnon because the light of the day that's coming to you starting to mashpia. However, we only say that rule when the actual night is already a special thing. Like the night of Shabbos is special. The night of Rosh Chodesh, night of Yom Tov. So then that mincha before, you also don't say tachnon. Or a meal which you had the day before, you say shir amalis. And what happens if the night is not special? It's only the day which is special. It's a day.
Like BaOmer.
Like Pesach Sheni. Let's give an example. Pesach Sheni. Pesach Sheni, the night before nothing happened. Because when was the shechita of the carbon Pesach? By day. You're not allowed to shech by night. So you shech by day and you ate it the night after. But the night before nothing happened. It's not a Yom Tif. If the day is a whole Yom Tif and a Chanami, the whole day is a Yom Tif, the mincha before you know. But this is about the carbon. The carbon is the next day. So therefore, Pesach Sheni, like this Shabbos, for example, the shul I was in, so the Chazan didn't know that. He started to say right away Kaddish. Because we're not going to say Tzidkascha. Say right, stop, and they told him, no, we do say Tzidkascha.
It says in a Yom, Dafke the Shabbos do say.
Because the night is not, the reason is because the night is not a Yom Tiv. If the night is not special, so the mincha before, we're not going to stop saying Tachlis. Now, Lag BaOmer, based on this shita, the night of Lag BaOmer is the night of Avelos. So the day before, you have to say mincha, the mincha, tachnon the mincha before, because the night is still Avelos until the morning. You don't get up on Lag BaOmer, according to the shita.
If they have Baal Simcha in the shul,
Yeah.
you don't say tachnon.
Oh, that's different. because he's there with you by the minyan. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you don't say that.
I'm saying if you don't say, not because of a simcha, but you don't say because of a Yom Tov or a Shabbos. So Pesach Sheni is an exception to the rule. I think Pesach Sheni is the only day in the Lubavitcher calendar which you have such a concept where the next day you don't say Tachna, but the mincha before you do say.
He also did consider
At Rosh Hashanah we don't say Tachna.
no, but before you need to say this morning.
Okay, good example. At Rosh Hashanah.
You're Yom Kippur.
Right? At Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. Okay, correct. Okay. Aval Laila betfilas amincha, aval cheinem in Tachnun betfilas amincha shalav labegoyim. Now he brings another minig here which says that we don't say Tachnun. Just taka the minig. Alter Rebbe writes in the Siddur taka not to say Tachnun. He wrote differently than his Shulchan Aruch. V'yesh mekoymes noyegim sheloi loimer Tachnun mincha shalav labegoyim. How could it be? Shesayim chin shebetchilas leil lamed gimel pasku avelis. They rely that they only passed away 32 days, not 33 days. It's a second opinion. A second opinion in the first opinion, that we observe the first 33 days. There's another opinion which holds it wasn't 33 days. It was 32 days. And therefore,
You not say Tachnon. On Erev. Therefore you don't say Tachnon on Erev.
yeah. Shesayim chin tchilas leil lamegim paska avelis. V'lechein eimem tachlin b'mincha shalofanav. We don't say tachlin b'mincha in the previous day. Kamay like sheyayin eimem tachlin afnei shara yom shem tachlin shaleilam kiyem. The night is like the day. Lafim in Hagam wotam gank in the stapper v'lisa v'leil gim. Based on their minig, which is our minig, already the night before like BaOmer, you're allowed to have a chasana and allowed to cut the hair. Shalifi devreim inoig avelos lamiyim. Lefi their words, we only inoig avelos 32 days, not 33 days.
Yeah, Wednesday we have a wedding for Fogel.
You remember there used to be a
So what? So they're going to make the wedding.
The daughter, and Wednesday night, this Wednesday night, to this.
The chuppah is after Shkia.
And the Chaim also.
The chuppah they're making after Shkia or after Tzeis. The makel after Shkia. Ah.
Remember Shmuel Fegel?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So he started getting married in Call Nights and BaOmer.
It's not in the year anymore, right? It's the second.
No, the year finished a couple months
You based
ago.
Tammuz. It was you based Tammuz, I think. No?
No, they're Rosh Hashanah.
I say Kaddish for him.
Every Chodesh,
Nissan.
Nisan was the year.
Yeah.
Oh, the year was over.
I say Kaddish for him the whole year.
When did you finish?
And the daughter got engaged in the last day in the 11th month, in Munster. So she asked me to come. I came with my wife. We went there. And Mincha, I said the last Kaddish.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. In the morning, I saw him in the dream. You know, he always big smile. He come like this with hand open. And he tell me, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow.
I was shivering. My wife said, what happened to you? In the morning, I was shivering.
Wow. Yeah, that's Shmuel the Tailiyid. Okay, Sivav. V'yei shoymrim shalam gimel yom elu maschilin v'yom beis l'chodesh year. Messiah be'erev Shavuos. However, there's another opinion. The 33 days start from the second day of Iyar, meaning from a Chodesh Iyar, Aleph Iyar.
Right. That means Lamed is still married.
No, I mean Beis Iyar. Beis Iyar.
Right, but in Rosh Chodesh
Beis Iyar.
still
Chodesh is still available.
he said
Not
the
available.
wedding on Lamed.
Right? That's like this opinion. And you finish the 33 days on Erev Shavuos. Now here comes the big problem over here. Even according to this opinion, it's mutter to, we know that everyone takes haircuts and gets married on the day of Lag BaOmer. How could you? It's the middle of the 33 days. According to this opinion, the night you are noyeg avelos tonight. So it's mixayim kikuli. In oil lag BaOmer gamkin l'cheshma lag BaOmer shenoigim em avelis. Normally, we're only makel this kula, a mix that you could kula only in the yom achre. Over here, we're makel even before, we're lenient, and in middle of the 33 days of avelus, we stop, we take a break for the avelus, and lag BaOmer, the day itself, is besimcha. In Shulchan Aruch, there's no understanding why we should be besimcha on this day, because according to the second opinion, the avelus was the second half. So why are you in the middle of it stopping for a day? It's obviously only because of Shem B'Yechoy. It's not mentioned clearly in Shulchan Aruch. And based on this second opinion that the 33 days are at the ending of the between Pesach and Shavuos, there's another shita. Some people say the 3 days Shloshim Mehagbala, the 3 days that the Yidden were not allowed to go up to Har Sinai, they were making themselves holy, getting ready to go for Har Sinai. You're allowed to get married. If they get married then and they cut their hair and then noyig like regular, no avelus, what's going to be the 33 days? How are you going to have a complete 30 days? So they move it back. They do not cut their hair or get married on Rish Chodesh year. Until Rish Chodesh, but not including Rish Chodesh. Shemaschilim Rish Chodesh year, Mesayim b'yom Aleph shel Kabbala, Mesayis Oisa yom Achron Kulei. Stop and Menois Meshahera yom Aleph shel Kabbala v'Elach. The second opinion says that you go back to Rish Chodesh year, the first day of Rish Chodesh year, and then the 3 days of Kabbala, you'll be able to allow to get married. The first day, the night, you still noyeg avelus, and in the morning you're allowed to. So you don't get married the night of the first day of the 3 days of Kabbala.
Well, minute Chabad is only the 3 days before.
Not to take a haircut in the Shoshim.
No, not
אנחנו נוהגים, לפי הספרדים מסתפרים בלמד ד', לא בלמד ג', בלמד ד'. אבל לפי מנהג הארי, וככה נוהגים הרבה קהילות, עד שבועות לא מסתפרים.
כן.
ככה מנהג הארי, לפי מנהג הארי, לא מסתפרים עד שבועות, וככה נוהגים התוניסאים. אצל תוניס נוהגים לא להסתפר עד שבועס.
חב"ד?
ונגיע השמחה.
לא, כתוב בזה של חב"ד שלא מסתפרים עד ערב ראש חודש. עד ערב חג השבוע.
איפה כתוב את זה?
בספר מנהגים של חב"ד.
כן?
מצד האריזה, מצד האריזה.
מצד האריזה, גם אנחנו נהגנו כמו הארי. אפילו שאני אמצא פה עכשיו באמריקה, עד שבועס, לפני שבועס אני אלך, ונתן להסתפר קצת בשביל זה, אבל מנהג שם לפי מנהג הארי. מנהג הארי לא מסתפר.
You know, Dalet Sivan was very good days for the war.
You Dalet Sivan?
Dalet Sivan. I was born.
Okay, you're right. The Shvili never Eilam. But the Sfardim, they have Simcha and like BaOmer?
The biggest simcha.
לא, עושים שמחה.
עושים Simcha like BaOmer?
כן, עושים,
Night and day, both.
חתונה כן?
חתונות עושים
מלמדל.
אבל אצלנו...
לא, ל"ג בעומר at night.
כן.
מתחתנים בארץ.
בארץ מתחתנים, כן, בלילה.
מצוי.
לא, ל"ג בעומר night. Wednesday night.
No, Wednesday night, the Sfardim?
Yeah, a lot of wedding, a lot.
אבל להסתפר, מסתפרים וגם מדל.
מה אמר חתן? חתן? לספר? בסדר, כמו שרבנו...
איזה מילה עושים?
זה לא פה כל התפרעים, כן? עוד מעט פעלים הרבה, לפני הרבה.
לפני הרבה.
It's a different Inyan. It's not connected to getting married other than the other. Separate. Yeah. Yeah. Said in Svarim. Yeah. It says in Sfarim that these days are days of Gvura. It says in Sfarim that the days of Sfiras HaOmer are days of Gvura. Yimei Hadin. And that's actually why the story of Rabbi Akiva students happened. It wasn't just the fact that they were... The Gemara says, they did not behave appropriately. But why should they all pass away this period of time of the year? This period of time of the year is a bad time of the year. It's not a good time. It's Yemei Din. It's Yemei Gevura, it says in Sfarim. Yeshaynim and Kabbalim. That since the days of Yemei Gevura and Yemei Din, so that's why the two things came together. The Rebbe also speaks about the also concept of Ayin Hara. He points from different Gemaras that the number 24 has what to do with Ayin Hara, and especially 24,000, which is a tremendous level of Ayin Hara. So combined with the fact that they were Leinagu Kavaz Ebazeh, so the Ayin Hara was able to be shaylat on them because they were not they're not acting appropriately. So it was a combination of a few factors. It wasn't just the fact that Leinagu Kavaz Ebazeh. They should have such an extreme people Leinagu Kavaz Ebazeh, and a lot of times people are Leinagu Kavaz Ebazeh.
General
why,
24 has.
Why should it happen? Yeah, the number 24.
What is it? What does it mean?
It has to do with Gvura and Din. The Zohar is about it, that the 24 is a klippa. I know the details about it, but he brings also from Chazals. There's stories about Chazals where 24 wagons went somewhere to Ma'abed the Chodesh and something happened to them, and the number 24 has some...
So it's not a lucky number.
How long? 24,000.
It's
Chavdalet Sifri Kodesh.
How long 24,000? Just...
Yeah, 1 year, 5 months, 2 months.
It was over a course of a few years.
A few years.
Yeah. Okay, let's finish up the Siman. Siv Zayin. Im yesh li safek b'minig hamokim. If someone has a safek, what is the minig of that place? The first 33 days or the last 33 days? Eini yachol litvis kulei haminhagim. A person can say, I'll take the lenient side of each of the minhagim. I'll be noyig. I won't be noyig avelos till Bezier, and then I'll already stop at like BaOmer. I'll be noyig like 16 days. I'll take the leniencies of both. Then if she yinig had to add ishchay the shir kisvar achrein, v'gam yinig had to be like BaOmer ve'elach ader avatzeres kisvar lishayin. Kivan shebeis kuleis elu soises zuazu. These two leniencies, they're connected to each other. Either you hold this way, or you'll hold that way. They contradict each other, so you can't take on both. One is allowed to take on both chumras. The hainu, what does that mean? Sheyinig ismi Pesach, from Pesach va'ad erev Shavuos, v'ad yom aleph shel Hagbala, or to the first day of Hagbala, chutz b'lag BaOmer. Ay v'ash shenoig beis chumras shesois zozu. The two chumras are also contradictory. Either the first 33 days of that veil is the last 33 days. It's a chumras that the two chumras are contradictory. We do not apply to him what it says, that a ksil, like a fool who walks in the darkness. A fool doesn't know where he's going. A fool, even when it's he doesn't know where he's going. You're doing it not because you think that's what you're supposed to do. You're doing it because you don't know what the minig is. So it's not clear what the minig is, so therefore you do both. However, he's not required to take on both chumras if you're not certain of the minig. One is allowed to chap whichever minig he wants. You not have to be concerned that maybe the place where you are, the minig is different. Havelus is only a minig in these days. In Sfiras HaOmer. You should not be machmer when there's a suffix. If someone does know the minig of the place, one should not change from the minig hamakim. For example, you should not be lenient in the days that they are machmer, or the opposite. You're not allowed to be machmer in the days that they're lenient. If you're doing it as a private chumrah, I'm personally being machmer because I'm concerned that I want to be concerned from the words of machmirim, so you're allowed to. Because you're not making a statement. Because the other shittas, I want to be machmer. However, if you want to do a shita and be machmer other days that they are not machmer in, because you want to make a statement that that's the way you're supposed to do it, you're not allowed to go to a kehila and do the opposite of the kehila. If you're doing it because I want to be machmer b'mitzvahs, mahalim mitzvahs, I know that this day is the ikr day here, but since there's another opinion, I want to go that way because I don't know which one. Okay, you're allowed to be machmer yourself. But if you're doing it because you're making a statement that I hold that those days that they're being lenient in are those are the real days of Lag BaOmer, and that's what I'm going to do. It's the issue of Leis is going to do. You're creating different camps in a kehillah. Seems like there's two different Torahs going on in the city. It's very confusing here. You're not allowed to make different camps in a city. The Alter Rebbe is very machmer with the concept of the Isser of Leis Skoidu. Furthermore, the word Leis Skoidu Melashon Aguda, and he says even if it's not going to bring to machloikas, you're not allowed to do it. Afilu be'in she'en locha shel machloikas. Even if there's no machloikas is going to come out of it, even she'ein hu yichidi be'ir. L'harbi man she'makim ne'inkach, where other people in the city also doing like he's doing. L'harbi man ne'inkach, im akpin zel zeh klal, they're not concerned, they're not makbid on each other. Still in all, there's an Isser of Leis Skoidu. You're not allowed to have in a city different agudas. This doesn't really apply to us when we live in New York and places like this, because after the war, Klal Yisrael, the whole Goyla became all mixed up, and every community we have all different types of minhagim. So there's no more concept of saying, very few places can say they have a concept of minig hamakim. Maybe if you go to Square Town, or you go to Kiryas Yoel, or somewhere like that, a shtetl, and they could say that this is the minig hamakim. But you're going to go to Borough Park, to Flatbush, a place like this, it's everyone, all different types of communities live there. And in every single block, you have a lot of shuls, a lot of bati dinim, and you can have 100 kehilas in Europe all in one area, which are all in Europe and in their own city and their own minhagim.
So what if a Lubavitcher goes to some town in the Midwest?
Same halacha.
Where there's only one Orthodox shul.
They're going to be a Lubavitcher.
So he's not allowed to make a Lubavitcher.
No, it depends. Very close.
Not in this way.
Very close.
Well, I'll tell you, the emes is was an early argument between Hasidim and quote unquote Misnagdim in the early days when Hasidim emerged. The movement of Chassidim emerged. One of the big discussions was that they're changing the minig of the makim. So, actually, the Vilna Goyen also had a lot of different minhagim that he had, but the Vilna Goyen kept his minig privately for himself. It didn't become a movement. Not only that, when the Vilna Goyen was nifter at his levaya in Vilna, they were very concerned that people would take on to following the minhagim of the Gra, which were not like Vilna. The minhagim that the Gra did were opposite of minhagim Ashkenaz. A lot of them were based on Kabbala or his own, how he paskind, and it was not like the minig of the city in Vilna. The Vilna Goyen was not the Rav in the city, by the way, in the Vilna. He was a private Talmud Chacham. He was not the Av Bezdin or the Rav. He was not in charge of the Kehillah. He was a private Goyen, a tremendous Goyen, but he was a private one. And he had his own little minyan. But Lamaisa, he did not want to change. He didn't change them, and they were worried. They made a chayrim that no one should dare follow them and hagim of the Gra in the city. Lamaisa, Hasidim came, and Hasidim wanted to be noig adam and hagim. So Hasidim opened up their own shuls, and they Hasidim held that if you open up your own shul, you're allowed to have your own minhagim if you're in a different shul, but not in the very same shul. However, the Messiah said for the opposite. It's a minig of the ear. And that's why the Vilna Goyen's Talmidim, they made an aliyah at one point to Eretz Yisrael. And one of the reasons why they made an aliyah to Eretz Yisrael, the Prushim, the Yishalayim, the Beis HaKnesses Hagra, the reason why is because they felt that we can only do these minhagim that the Gra wanted us to do, but we can't do it here. We have to go to Eretz Yisrael where we could make a new yishuv. Over there we could do them in Hagin the way we want.
Agra is Israelish, right?
Huh?
Agra is Israelish.
No, it's the Ramah. Gra Agoyin of Eliyahu. Agoyin of Eliyahu Mivilna. Let's finish off two more sif. We'll go to Ma'ariv, Sif Ches. Even those that have a minig that the first days of BaOmer are the days of Avelus. Falls on the Shabbos. Since you have both Shabbos and Chodesh, you can be made to cut the hair Erev Shabbos. Simcha. Shabbos v'reish chodesh, ish lahati l'stapa b'erev Shabbos, they cover the Shabbos. The gam lisa isha b'yim, also that erev Shabbos you can allow, which is also erev chodesh, you're allowed to marry, which is very common those days that people in Europe got married on a Friday. People didn't have money to make a wedding suda, and the best idea was to make it Friday night. You don't have to make a big wedding meal, and all you'll have, we'll have a nice Shabbos meal, and that will be it.
They still do it today.
Some places?
They get married on Friday and they have...
Once in a while, I hear about such a... I don't think it's so common, but once in a while you hear about it, yeah. It's definitely easier. Not some people are going to attend the wedding on a Friday. But they don't make the wedding the Suda at night.
They made it in Friday.
Yeah.
But they don't make the wedding... But they don't make the Suda at night. They make the Suda on Friday. No?
Yeah.
They do it... Usually they do it because there's no halls available. They want to get married at a certain time. There's no halls available, so they have no choice. So they don't. They feel they have to make it on Friday. Or what? The gam l'isisha by b'yoyim since the main meal will be at night, so you're allowed on Shabbos.
Friday afternoon, and then the Suda was Shabbos.
Yeah, Suda was Shabbos. So not the chokol. Noigin shalas malachet anoshim v'echanoshim koy mei asvira. The minig is that men and women do not do malacha from shkiyas achama ad lachas sviras oimer. Every day, lo emel zashem Shabbos Shabbos l'loshen shvus, resting. Shemzana sviras shkiyas achama lishbis malacha ad lachas yisper. L'maisa, I don't think people are making this minig. They don't do malacha from shkia until after they sell sviras oimer. I don't know, maybe we're...
Anybody who does it.
They leave and they leave.